My name is, hello, Commissioners and City Staff. My name is Selma Wilson, and I'm a resident of the City of Sarasota.
It's upside down.
Upside down. Sorry about that. I should look at what I'm doing.
There you go.
Thank you.
Right. And crooked. Let's do that. All right. I am an architect licensed in the UK and Turkey and work with an architecture firm based in the Rosemary district. During my 13 years here, I have been the project manager of many significant projects in the City of Sarasota, including the renovation of the Sarasota High School, the Municipal Auditorium, and the Van Wezel, as well as the recently completed 40 Carrots building on Cattleman. I'm also the former owner of a historic two-story house in the Gillespie neighborhood, which we registered for local historic designation, and more recently, the owner of a historic all-metal kit house in the South Poinsetta Park neighborhood, and I know many of you were in my presentation. We are the first residential property of the so-called commercial district, so we would be an affected party of this zoning amendment. All this to say that when I come to the Commission to talk about the urban fabric of Sarasota relative to the proposed zoning amendments, I would like you to consider me as a informed, architecturally informed citizen that cares. What do I mean by urban fabric? So I brought an example. The best way to demonstrate urban fabric is by looking at a grain map of a city, in my opinion. This is how you can tell what kind of a city it is. What is the distribution of urban spaces to buildings, the sense of enclosure, directionality, circulation, etc. How do you read Sarasota? What kind of a city is it? What kind of a city do you want it to be? This was the topic of the downtown series organized by Architecture Sarasota that we all recently enjoyed. This commission is being asked to make decisions regarding the design of the fabric of the city, and I do want you to be aware of that. You are not urban planners, but you are being asked to make that decision. And I'd like to make sure that you have all the tools to be able to do that. And it's not a political thing, it's an academic judgment in many places, and you are being presented by material that may or may not be fully comprehensive. So I wanted to bring this concept of the grain map to you. It is not just the grain map of the city, it is also the transverse section. And this is a page from the current zoning code. It is addressing the issue of transverse section. However, it's looking at it in a very myopic way, in my opinion. We actually had one of these images up just in the previous presentation. It is looking at a building. If we're lucky, it's looking at its adjacent building. And it's telling us to do or not do certain things, one building relative to the other. What it's not doing is looking at the whole city. And I'm a walker in the city. I know a lot of you drive. So your experience of the city is going to be along that commercial zone. It's likely you're not going to be trying to cross it. You should try to cross it. It's a very important experience. And when we're looking at blanket zoning issues, you really cannot categorize a transverse section through Fruitville at this point with this point. They're completely different environments, and they should not be treated the same. Similarly, if you took a section through Sarasota Memorial, going from the bay all the way to the residential neighborhood, that's not going to be the same as my transverse section through Rose Street. It's about the whole section. It's about considering the views, the breezes, the water flow, tree cover, ground cover, pedestrian flow, heat gain, shading, all of this. The successful design of the whole section leads to a cohesive urban experience. On the topic of density, I suggest smaller houses. I suggest reducing our footprint, not necessarily increasing heights. I don't know if this is addressed at all. America is famous for just taking up too much footprint. On the topic of this relationship of attainable housing and a successful transverse city, there is none.
Okay, thank you very much.